Hey there, Wendy here with Jazzydoodledesigns, and we're back today for number 9. Let me get zoomed in as far as I can. Okay, so the pencils we're going to use for this, I'm going for like a very light wood color. So we're going to use cream, we're going to use light umber, and dark brown. Then for our Santa hat, we're going to use the same reds we've been using, which is Crimson Lake, Scarlet Lake, and Carmine Red, with a little bit of espresso in the dark. And then, and probably a little bit of goldenrod in here too, in the wood. And then for the white, I am going to use a little bit of 50% French gray, possibly 50% cool gray, powder blue, 10%, probably like a 10% warm gray. No, probably not. I think that pencil was sneaking in on the action there from last time. And a white Posca. Now, it doesn't have to be a Posca. It can be any white gel pen. Okay, let's get started. So, I think I'm going to start with the wood. So what I'm going to do is I want my wood to be kind of a warm color, and I want it to go with this little star here, but I don't really want it to be gold. So what I'm going to do is ever so lightly, I'm going to go over the entire wood piece here with cream. Okay, just very lightly. You can tell I didn't even worry if I got it absolutely everywhere. And I'm doing the same thing with this goldenrod color. Right? Now you want to make a reasonable effort to get it everywhere, but wood has variances, so I kind of like that it's a little different here and there, but you don't want big gaps. All right, next up we're going in with our light umber. Now this is the color that I really want the wood to be. So, or this kind of tone, right? So I'm going to go over it lightly. Make your strokes probably in the direction of the wood would be a better way than I was doing with the little circles. That way it just has a little more like feel of the wood grain, right? And you can see here and there I made, slightly darker and slightly lighter ones. Next I'm going to go in with my dark brown, and I'm going to do the shadowy area here and all along the edges here. Make sure you have a sharp point. Okay, now I'm going to go back in maybe with, probably the light umber. Okay, and then ever so lightly do a few flicks with your darker in the direction of the grain, right? Just a few. We don't want too many. And then we're going to go back in and do the same thing, little flicks, with our light umber. Okay. And then with this goldenrod, just fill out anything, like if you feel like something looks uncolored, little white spots maybe, just kind of blend it out a little bit with that. But not pushing hard at all. Okay. Perfect. Now, normally I always tell you do your lights first. I'm actually going to do the Santa hat first, just simply because I'm going to be using Posca, and Posca is going to go over any oops-a-daisies. Okay, first up is our espresso. Just going to get everything clear. Well, Prisma's notorious for the dust, huh? So we're going to get in kind of deep into our little Santa hat here, and then just very lightly bring that out, just like that. Same here. We're going to come in kind of deep there, and then very lightly bring it out, right? Just like that. Next up, Crimson Lake. And we're going to go over that espresso and bring it out. Right? And see here, I kind of got it in the white. That's okay. Like I said, we'll fix it. Okay, next up is Scarlet Red. Kind of going over what I did already and bringing it up even farther. And last up is our Carmine Red. Filling in what isn't colored. And then I'm going to repeat the process starting with the red. I don't think it needs any more espresso. If you didn't get it dark enough the first time, feel free to go in, with the espresso. Try not to do what I did. While we can fix it, we don't want to have to fix it. Okay. Next up is Scarlet Lake. Adding just a touch more pressure, and last with the Carmine. Smooth out any white spots, blend everything out. Okay. All right, so next up for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the 50% cool gray. I just feel like I want a little bit of a base layer. I'm going to go over it lightly with this French gray, 10% French. So sorry to throw another pencil in the mix, but I'm just kind of doing these little circles and not getting it everywhere. But you can see now that we have a little bit of a color in there. And then with this color, I'm kind of going into like little shadowy areas. So just making little, almost like dots, but a little bit more. Just for a little bit of color. Okay, now with our powder blue, we are going to dot. We want little dots of powder blue. Go ahead and break your pencil. That really is effective. Oh my goodness, Wendy. Okay, now you're thinking this is kind of a hot mess, but we want some color in there. And you can even take just a few kind of little dots of like an espresso or a dark cool gray. Okay, now I know that looks mess, but now let's go in with our Posca, and we're gonna dot around the outside here. See how I'm doing that? So that the outside is a little uneven. See, that's why I said I could fix that little red. So you want, you know, a little dot up into the red, right? We want to get rid of that black line, but we want our little fluffer to kind of fluff out over that red a little bit and cover up our line, and then random dots in the center. Okay. Now, is this a perfect technique? No. There are some really good tutorials on how to make it look realistic. This is a very whimsical style book. I'm okay. You know, y'all aren't coming to me because you want realistic coloring, right? And we want to let that dry before we touch it. But then you can add more dots. I think I'm going to add a few more dots because I felt like it looks too, like the dots are too distinct, right? Now, in the end, when I'm all done with my page, I told you I might go over this one with the white Posca. I most likely will, but I may even put like a little bit of stickles on there or a little iridescent medium over my Posca. Once this dries, I'm going to try and erase, like there's a few little dots in between here. But, oh, and then with the espresso, I'm going to do a little just like that for our little nail head or screw head there. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching another video from Jazzydoodledesigns. If you enjoy adult coloring content, please consider subscribing. You can now find me on Instagram and Facebook as well. I welcome all comments and suggestions. Don't forget to like the video before you go. And until next time, take care.